Hey, what's going on? This is Matt with Black Sheep Off-Road Racing. We're doing a few things right now. We're trying to finish up a Bronco pre-runner, rock crawler, whatever you want to call it, before we get back into building a race car. So just thought I'd do a couple quick videos of a few products that we've been working with here, primarily all focused around Canton racing products, but show you a few things that we have going on here. So we got the dash, pretty much ready to go. I think it's pretty slick. Dakota Digital made a custom center section for some rugged radios and some other stuff. So we got our Bronco chassis. We did a Super Duty Dana 60 front axle in it, so it's more or less the Super 60 ball joint version, and it's all fitted pretty well. We use the factory mounts and just use the rough stuff arm kit to make it all fit, and it's all fitted in there pretty good. Right now we don't have the coils on the coilovers because we had to slide the chassis out from underneath of the body to finish up some plumbing work and whatnot, but it definitely fits in there tight. So this is at full compression. I still have a little bit more work to do to make everything fit properly, just in terms of clearance and whatnot. But after some fine trimming of frame and fitment work, we're able to get the ram to fit, high steer to fit, tie rod over steering to fit. You can see there the ballistic fabrication, the very first shave kit for a Super 60. So that one's in there, fits good, went together well. All stuff with nitro gears. Everything's got nitro joints, so these are their Excalibur nitro joints. Nitro yokes. The rear is a ballistic truss with rough stuff mounts, links, Heims, all that type of stuff. So the rough stuff products really helped us out here. Use their outriggers, use their upper 4-link mounts, the adjustable ones. We're still working through some fitment of the rear sway bar. You know, as you know, with custom fabrication, can't just go buy all the off the shelf stuff, but it's coming together well. The rear axle is a Sterling 10.5 inch. So again, nitro gears, ARB. It's pretty hard to see we shaved it with a ballistic truss as well. Had to trim the gas tank skid plate so we could shove the axle back a little further. We tried to stretch the wheelbase out on it as much as we could. You know, I think at the end of the day we probably only got 4 or 5 inches. So it was a lot of work for a little bit of benefit, but it's all coming together. Some of the other good stuff that we've been using are Red Horse performance fittings. So I've been trying to plumb everything with hard lines, and it's been pretty time consuming and tedious, but I think it's turning out pretty well. So using all the Red Horse performance compression fittings, tube flare adapters, stainless steel line, and then I've been working on wiring everything up with Deutsch connectors. So really trying to do some of our best work, at least given the resources that we have here. But it's all coming together. So that's the chassis. The body Still has a lot of work left to do, and we'll get there on it. We made these internal plates. If you followed any of our photographs or anything that we put on Facebook, we made these interior panels that have an aluminum panel behind it, mount our speakers to, tuck a few things back behind there. Because in the Bronco it's kind of open dead space, so a few amps that we set up in there, still have a lot of wiring to do. But we went through, we re-raptor lined everything, so I have to go, at least on the interior. On the exterior or the underneath, I still have to go through. I'm going to do that again, just to try to freshen it up. So yeah, it's taking a little bit of time. Got definitely some body work to do on the front end. Had to trim the inner fenders out to clear the tires. Worked on getting everything mounted up in the engine compartment. We're able to fit in dual optima batteries. So just a lot of little final finish work left to do, you know, to make everything fit the way it ought to fit. So I have some Canton products that I've been putting on here, and I've been using Canton products for probably the better part of 7 or 8 years now, and I've just always been really happy with them. In terms of their oil pans is kind of where I started out using them. They're trap door racing pans. Let's see, it's, yeah, with this chassis on the ground, it's a little hard to see. Let me run around to the other side. But just always a very compact, good fit, well-built, TIG welded product, zinc plated. Just never had a problem with them. So I continue to use that stuff, and over time I've started expanding into other products that they have, and they've all proven to be just as good. So in the back here, this is our fuel filter. So I tucked it outside of the frame rail here in the wheel well. Shouldn't really get hit with any debris or anything like that. Easy to access. You have an internal filter element. I can show you those here. I bought a pack of them. We run the same exact products on a race car, so we can, everything's interchangeable. Just buy a pack of whatever it is and be able to, you know, use them in multiple applications. So for me, I just find it easiest to buy a 6-pack of stuff. So at least in terms of the fuel filter, what I'm running is the 25-911B, which is this one back here. You have the inlet on the top and you have the outlet on the side. Dash 12AN ports, which can prove to be challenging if you're trying to get down, in my case, to a 6AN. So I had to do a few custom fittings there, but it's just TIG welded those together and painted them, and it worked out well. And then you also have, very important to use, the mounting clamp. So that's the 26-891B, which clamps with a clamp, and then it's got the built-in bracket on it. And so in my case, I just mounted it back to the frame. So in my opinion, I think that's pretty clean. All right, and then on the front, one of the things I do that I've started doing on my previous race car, and then I've just carried into other projects, which is kind of how a lot of things seem to happen. You find something that you like and you just keep doing it everywhere, is I have an external transmission filter. So this is very, very similar to the fuel filter or the engine oil filters that Canton sells. In this case, it's a 25- oh no, that's a fuel filter, I'm sorry. It is 25-006B. So it's just a standard Oil filter uses the same style filter elements as that fuel filter, and easily replaceable. You pop your 4 Allen head cap screws out from the top or the bottom, and you can replace your element. So in my case, I'm running this for transmission, so doubtful I'll have to really change it very often. It's just there to really be a belt and suspenders and catch any debris that might be in there. If you've ever taken a transmission filter off, you know that there isn't a whole lot of substantial meat there on it. So anyway, so what's going on here is I'm running this off of the transmission pan. So my lines will be set up going into it with some weld-on 8AN fittings, some stuff that I use from Red Horse. So I'll weld those on, and then I'll have the inlet and outlet to the transmission filter. It'll plumb out from there, and then it's going to go up to a cooler that sits on the front radiator support. So it'll serve 2 functions: to filter and also to cool, and it'll just be run off of a temperature sensor. So again, it utilizes the same style bracket, the 26-891B. Just a very simple to use bracket that allows it to bolt on. And you know, this is on there with hard lines, but you can tell it's really stiff. The bracket really holds it on there well, so it doesn't flop around or anything like that. Again, I've always used these on our race car, always been very happy with them. So we're just extending the application in terms of where we're using it.